Okay. ¿En serio? What? Every time. I swear. Why? What? All that. Okay. Whatever. Um. Right. Alrighty then. Здравствуйте, мой друг. Как дела сегодня? Добрый день. Um, hello, my friends. How are you today? Um, good day to you. I'm not sure if it's fully grammatically correct in Russian, but nevertheless, right? Um, so it's been a hot minute since you guys have seen me. Um, I've been doing a lot of thinking, yeah? And I decided that, now is a good time to come back. I am not one to rush my decisions, right? So I needed to really, really think about some things and how I was going to approach them. And I think that that is a very wise thing to do. I think that when you are uncertain about something or something really, really bothers you, the best thing to do is to be silent. Seriously. Silence, I am learning, is the best thing known to mankind for a multitude of reasons. And wait. What is happening here? If you don't mind, I'm looking there and here at the same time, trying to see what this is on about. This screen. As as I thought. Oh. I was so taken back by that. I expected it, but not at the same time. I was like, ah. Anyways, yeah, comments are appreciated always. Drop your comments. I missed your guys' comments, but yeah, when you're at, sorry guys, I'm a little like sick, like in the nose. It's dry here, and no, I don't do drugs. It's just dry here in the state of Arizona, the desert state. So the thing is, when you are fuming, right? And especially for women, right? You get angry, you get upset. And by the way, guys, Real Talk with Kaysha, that's the name of the show. Of course, if you're new here, welcome to Real Talk with Kaysha. I just want to let you know also, I've put Kaysha there. And I've actually started a backup account on X called Native Kaysha. Go follow me on there. It's my only backup account. So follow me on there, Native Kaysha, as it's spelled like here, the Kaysha part, obviously. There. Because if you know, you know. But I put Kaysha instead of my regular handle, because I do have impersonators on X, weird stalker impersonators. So I decided to go a little bit different. And Kaysha, because anyone who's really my friend and really knows me, for some reason, always ends up calling me Kaysha. Like it's just only one letter difference to add the A, Kaysha. But I don't know, ever since high school, out of the blue, one day, I don't know. I went to high school, and one day I went to a different high school. I transferred high schools. Then all of a sudden, people were like, "Hey, Keish, blah, blah, blah." And everyone was like, Keish. And I just thought that was funny. Then I went to university, and nobody knew the people back home that I went to high school with. But the people that I met at university also called me Keish. And they were from all over the place. And I was like, well, you know what? Actually, this kind of sticks. My name is Kaysha, but I do like Keish. I'm letting you guys into a little bit more of my friendly self, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so real talk with Kaysha, but Keish, you know? If you know, you know. So anyway, if you're cool with me, you know. Yeah, but women though, when they become fuming, right? When they get really, really fuming and really, really angry, sometimes the best thing to do is just to be silent, completely silent. And because you have to sort through those emotions, you have to understand where they're coming from. You don't want to misdirect that anger, right? You don't want it to go to someone else. You want it to go to the place that it needs to go to. And it's the devil. To be fair, ultimately, it's the devil, because no matter what happens, right, you are still responsible to keep your composure. You are still responsible for yourself. And if you allow yourself to get into anger or resentment or any of those type of frustrations, you're just going to end up hurting yourself. And so I couldn't understand why I was so angry. I was so angry. I was livid. For the first time in my life, on a very serious note, for the very, very first time, I understood on a deeply personal level why. Like, not why. I always knew why. I understood the turning point for women when they decide to become the villain. Because I felt in that moment something that made me realize that's what it is. In this moment, right now, I can go one of two ways. And you got to choose. You just got to choose. I felt that. And if you're a woman who's been through it, if you've been through the ringer, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because that feeling hits you and you're just like, where did this come from? Like, why? You're trying to sort through it and all you see is red. All I saw was red for so many days. I didn't understand why. I couldn't get out of it. I was stuck. But I understood in that moment, that's the feeling that turns somebody. And that's crazy. It's so crazy because I had to sit and think and realize if I didn't have the father that I did and the help that I did from my father, I'd be finished. My decision would not have been so easy. Mo Leicester. Hi, Keish. Hi, Mo. I suppose you are an acquaintance or friend. So today, I'm going to read a little bit of Proverbs. I do have in the title there that we're going to be reading. And I'll discuss a little bit more as we go on. But I do want to read. I put it off for so long because I didn't want to feel like I was lying. You know, God listens to us, even when we're angry, even when we're sad, frustrated, confused, whatever the case may be. But I didn't want to come on here and feel like I was lying and smile when I had nothing when I felt like I had nothing to smile about, because I very well did have something to smile about. But like I said, when you're going through the thick of the emotion, you don't want to misdirect the anger and frustration or the information. And I don't want to point anyone in the wrong direction because of how I was feeling. And so I had to take that time, but I'm back now. And I understand that at some point, I want to get to the place where I can feel that feeling, and that can happen. And I will carry on anyway. If you know what I'm talking about, that is a terrifying thing. But I think that once I get to that point, it's over. I don't want to sound weird saying that or devious, but when I get to that point, it's over. So anyway, how long have you believed in the Lord, Mo? I have believed in God for as long as I can remember. I was raised in a Christian home, but it does not signify. I had my own journey that I had to walk with to find God. It is terrifying. What is terrifying, Mo? Please explain yourself. I'm going to start reading now because I do want to get through this. And guys, there's a lot to smile about in life. There's a lot to smile about. There's a lot to laugh about. And even though that there's a lot to cry about, if you look at the bigger picture and don't get lost in it, then you'll find yourself dancing in the rain, innit? Guys, I'm sorry. I'm so funny. If you know, you know. Oh no, ignore me. I don't want to interrupt the reading. All right, no worries. If you have a question, ask it. And I will answer when I can, because I want to make sure that I get through the reading, but I will still answer your guys' questions. And yeah. Let me just see here though. Let me just see this before I start. I know that I'm like disorganized with this, but have mercy with me or bear with me. Someone said, I love everything, but you definitely are giving born again Christian vibes. Good on you for not living with so much jaded energy that you don't allow anyone in your life that isn't like you. Oh, no. I'm really, like, when it comes down to it, I'm really laid back for real. Like, I'm a really laid back person. It's weird. The comments from the other platform is not coming on here. The Matrix, the devil, all the same. I'm not even like seeing my views properly. It's weird. I had to go check. But no, I'm really laid back. Hi, Han. I really don't I don't care if you agree with my personal view. As long as you don't hurt kids, like, I can talk to you. I really don't care. I've talked to all kinds of people. Like, I don't care. We all have experience, and I like when people are real, when they're honest. I can respect somebody who is honest to me, who is not going to try to deceive me. And that's really mostly what hurts me. I'm not hurt by the people that tell me that they're evil or that tell me that they have no regard for me. I am hurt by the people who try to convince me that they have regard for me so that they can get what they think they need or want from me. I just prefer honesty. Like, I really just prefer someone to be straight up. My dad was straight up with me my whole life. He's a direct guy. He's a very direct guy. And that's what it is. So I know, right, sister, they're the worst. it's not even that. It's just, oh, the ones that hurt kids. Yeah, for sure. I thought you meant disagreeing. No, disagreeing, like, I could care less for. And part of it is also realizing that, even that, like, I can't control any of that. I can't even control if someone is like that. I can only control how I respond to things. And I had to come to terms with the fact that not everyone is going to be nice to you. I know that. But on a different level, on a very, very different and more personal level, I had to come to terms with the fact that even if I'm okay that people don't like me, I also have to be okay that some people are not going to be respectful. And not everyone is going to be respectful, because I'm okay if you don't like me. I just ask for some respect. Basic human respect. It doesn't need to be special. It doesn't need to be personal. It doesn't need to be extravagant. Just basic human decency and respect, Because then I'm like, well, why are we even interacting, right? But, I came to terms with the fact, like, people are people, man. People are just people. And when it really comes down to it, when people are people, even when you feel like you have nothing or no opportunity, God is giving you the opportunity to see that He is the one that's there for you. He's the only one that's there for you. And that is a beautiful thing, because that means that He is real. You are covered. You are protected by God. He loves you. He loves you enough to be there for you when nobody else is there for you, when nobody else would regard you or love you or respect you or cherish you as a human. Do you understand? So nothing could be a greater joy or a greater gift than that. Because in a world as cruel as this, that's what you need the most. So let me stop rambling and let me get on with the reading. So we are going to read, as I see here, I've got my, as you guys remember, my Constitution and my Bible that had me, the spot that I left off last time. And I'm going to start on 14, Proverbs 14. We're going through Proverbs. As you remember, I wish I hadn't taken so many days. I'll mitigate that more efficiently in the future, God willing, or myself more so. But let us begin. So, wise people live righteously. Indeed, they do. There goes the phone. You can stay there. Every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hands. He that walketh in his uprightness feareth the Lord, but he that is perverse in his ways despiseth him. In the mouth of the foolish is a rod of pride, but the lips of the wise shall preserve them. Where no oxen are, the crib is clean, but much increase is by the strength of the ox. A faithful witness will not lie, but a false witness will utter lies. A scorner seeketh wisdom, and findeth it not, but knowledge is easy unto him that understandeth. Go from the presence of a foolish man, when thou perceivest not in him the lips of knowledge. The wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way, but the folly of fools is deceit. Fools make a mock at sin, but among the righteous there is favor. The heart knoweth his own bitterness, and a stranger doth not intermeddle with his joy. The house of the wicked shall be overthrown, but the tabernacle of the upright shall flourish. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. Deciding right from wrong. There's a little passage. In deciding upon any course of action, we are not to ask whether we can see that harm will result from it, but whether it is in keeping with the will of God. Patriarchs and Prophets, page 634. Yeah, that's pretty true. I can't lie. Anyway, even in laughter, the heart is sorrowful, and the end of that mirth is heaviness. The backslider in heart shall be filled with his own ways, and a good man shall be satisfied from himself. The simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his goings. Yeah, you can't take people's word for everything, honestly. You have to watch the actions. Hey Julian, thank you, sir. It's kind. Nice to be back, my friend. Okay. We're reading from Proverbs, by the way, 14. I'm on verse 16 if you'd like to follow along. A wise man feareth and departeth from evil, but the fool rageth and is confident. He that is soon angry dealeth foolishly, and a man of wicked devices is hated. The simple inherit folly, but the prudent are crowned with knowledge. The evil bow before the good, and the wicked at the gates of the righteous. The poor is hated even of his own neighbor, but the rich hath many friends. He that despiseth his neighbor sinneth, but he that hath mercy on the poor, happy is he. Do they not err that devise evil? But mercy and truth shall be to them that devise good. He. In all labor there is profit. Sorry. In all labor there is profit, but the talk of the lips tendeth only to penury. The crown of the wise is their riches, but the foolishness of fools is folly. A true witness delivereth souls, but a deceitful witness speaketh lies. In the fear of the Lord is strong confidence, and his children shall have place of refuge. The fear of the Lord is a fountain of life, to depart from the snares of death. In the multitude of people is the king's honor, but in the want of people is the destruction of the prince. He that is slow to wrath is of great understanding, but he that is hasty of spirit exalteth folly. A sound heart is the life of the flesh, but envy the rottenness of the bones. He that oppresseth the poor reproacheth his Maker, but he that honoureth him hath mercy on the poor. The wicked is driven away in his wickedness, but the righteous hath hope in his death. Wisdom resteth in the heart of him that hath understanding, but that which is in the midst of fools is made known. Righteousness exalteth a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. There's a little passage here. It says, how true strength is measured. In the word of God only is this clearly set forth. Here it is shown that the strength of nations as of individuals is not found in the opportunities or faculties that appear to make them invincible. It is not found in their boasted greatness. It is measured by the fidelity with which they fulfill God's purpose. Education, page 175. Education is one of my favorite books as well. The king's favor is toward a wise servant, but his wrath is against him that causeth shame. And now we can go to chapter 15, why not? Let me see. Let's see how I feel. Wise ways to live. A soft answer turneth away wrath, but a grievous word stir up anger. Boy, oh boy, do I need to learn. You said, I don't know how you aren't jaded. From teachers to adults to kids growing up, I just never really liked anyone. I always have had the mindset that this is all BS. And to try to fit in is to give up the last choice you have in life. I reject it all, religion, politics, education, because they all, in my mind, sound like programs to keep you distracted from what the rich people controlling everything, making your life a living hell are doing. Backslider, pause. Yo, what does that mean? Backslider? I don't remember. If I said backslider, I don't remember. Have you, sorry, let me put it this way. I don't presume to have capability to guide or teach you in this manner. You are, I assume, a man. You have a interesting profile and name. So I Howie. So I just assume that you're a man, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. You know, I don't think it's best for me personally to make decisions based on what other people do. And this is why I came back to before, giving up those feelings, because if you hold anger and resentment towards people, you become what you hate. And in those days that I was just in the thick of everything, I was not my best self, let's say. And it was like that, like a switch. And I thought, and I'm talking about like my attitude, because I'm not an addict. I've never been a drug or an alcoholic, a drug addict or an alcoholic. I've just never been that way. My dad raised me with a lot of discipline, so it's just not in me. But my attitude was not myself. My countenance dropped significantly because I was so focused on things that I could not control. And people that I don't even care to control. I just focused on situations that were completely out of my control. And that moved my judgment on my own decision making, and that's not acceptable. I don't care what the people at the top do. I care what God is doing for me and what God wants me to do for him. The big always conquers small, so to speak. I heard that today. I won't say where, because I can't say it in the exact manner, but if you know, you know, I guess. Big conquers small, always. God is bigger than all of these people at the top. It doesn't matter what they're doing. It only matters what God has planned for you. And if you follow that, God will make himself known to you. I have found that for myself in ways that I thought less than favorable, to be fair. So there are a lot of things about the government as a corporation, the establishment, and church and everything in the like. But that's not to do with me. And as a man, you have different responsibilities. You might find a better answer asking my father, to be fair, Dale Richardson. DJS Richardson on Twitter. Go ask him. He might have a good answer for you, because I don't have a solution for you as a man to not have that. I know for me, I feel better and operate better when I listen to my Father and God. Because when I'm in those moments where there is so much circumstances happening around me that I cannot see, and I'm only feeling the consequences of, it just makes you want to. And that's all I can really say. I don't know how else to describe it. It just makes you so angry. But the reason I cannot be angry is because my dad fixes it. I don't know how to fix it. I don't have the solution. I only know how to give it to my Father and God. Here's the issue. I'll fix my attitude. You fix the issue. Let's work together. Let's be a team. Sorry. I'm just being honest. I only believe in God when the police roll by, I'm in the hospital, or I'm on the plane. It's very unfortunate. I'm very sorry to hear that. I truly am very sorry to hear that. I don't even know what to say. If that's the only time you believe in God, then you've probably not had a real experience to make you believe anything else. And as somebody, my granny and my father and great-grandmother, all of them, my whole life rang in my ears. Those who don't listen must feel. And as someone who's exceptionally stubborn, I reckon you might find it more favorable, more palatable even, to learn before you feel. Because if you're any deal stubborn as I am, you won't like the way that you learn. Oh, you will in the long run. Not in the immediate moments, though. Nevertheless, God knows how to get us all. Consciously self-reflecting like the way you're doing will help you go far in life. You seem not only observant of your surroundings, but your own heart as well. Honestly, by the grace of my God and my Father alone. Everyone gets so angry when I say that. Not you, Julian, sir. I know not you. But a lot of people get so angry when I say that. But it's true. I am so capable. I am so intelligent. I am a lot of things. I honestly am a lot of things. But life has humbled me enough to realize that all of those things mean nothing unless I have a good leader. And for a woman who's raised without a father, God bless her and the people around her. Because you guys know, hell hath no fury. I get you. Thank you, Julian. I'm going to finish my reading. Anyways, a soft answer turneth away wrath, but a grievous answer stirs up anger. Indeed it does. Something I'm yet to learn. Sometimes. Silence can be golden. What was I saying just earlier? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Ah. My dad and I used to do this joke. We still do sometimes. But I haven't seen him in so long. But when something really digs, we're like, the knife. Sorry, it's so funny. Anyways, silence can be golden. It's a little passage here. If impatient words are spoken to you, never reply in the same spirit. Remember that a soft answer turneth away wrath. Proverbs 15:1. And there is wonderful power in silence. Words spoken in reply to one who is angry sometimes serve only to exasperate. But anger met with silence, in a tender, forbearing spirit, quickly dies away. Ministry to Healing, page 486. It's true. It's true. My friend said the other day that she was Irish and Cherokee, and so she's very hot-tempered, to put it shortly, and she really screwed herself over with a man that she very much appreciated. And it really hit me in my soul because I had just lost my temper, and my dad had just told me the same thing. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, my dad told me the same exact thing, except in a different way. And I got so angry, but then I saw the post of my friend and I was like, I know he's right. I need to chill. I really need to chill. So anyways, I saw that yesterday. I saw that yesterday. And I told her, it's funny because I've got Irish blood too. And my mom is Native. So needless to say, I understand you very deeply. Unfortunately, I understand. But anyways, yeah, silence is golden, guys. Silence is golden. And when I perfect that, I'm quite silent in real life. Obviously, when I come on here, I speak for a purpose. I talk about that all the time, but in real life, I am quite silent. I don't talk very much. I don't need to, nor do I want to. If I really talk a lot with you, I really like you. And like is the key word, because you can love somebody and not like them. As crazy as that sounds. Where's my eyebrow here? Anyways, let's continue. The tongue of the wise useth knowledge aright. But the mouth of fools poureth out foolishness. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. A wholesome tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness therein is a breach in the spirit. A fool despiseth his father's instruction, but he that regardeth reproof is prudent. In the house of the righteous is much treasure, but in the revenues of the wicked is trouble. The lips of the wise disperse knowledge, but the heart of the foolish doeth not so. The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord, but the prayer of the upright is his delight. The way of the wicked is an abomination unto the Lord, but he that loveth him that followeth after righteousness. Correction is grievous unto him that forsaketh the way, and he that hateth reproof shall die. Hell and destruction are before the Lord. How much more than the hearts of the children of men? A scorner loveth not one that reproveth him, neither will he go unto the wise. A merry heart maketh a cheerful countenance, but by sorrow of the heart the spirit is broken. The heart of him that hath understanding seeketh knowledge, but the mouth of fools feedeth on foolishness. All the days of the afflicted are evil, but he that is of a merry heart hath a continual feast. Better is a little with the fear of the Lord than great treasure and trouble therewith. Better is a dinner of herbs where love is, than a stalled ox and hatred therewith. A wrathful man stirreth up strife, but he that is slow to anger appeaseth strife. The way of the slothful man is an hedge of thorns, but the way of the righteous is made plain. A wise son maketh a glad father, but a foolish man despiseth his mother. Folly is joy to him that is destitute of wisdom. But a man of understanding walketh uprightly. Without counsel, purpose are English. Without counsel, purposes are disappointed. But in the multitude of counselors they are established. A man hath joy by the answer of his mouth, and a word spoken in due season. How good is it! The way of life is to the wise, that he may depart from hell beneath. The Lord will destroy the house of the proud, but he will establish the border of the widow. The thoughts of the wicked are an abomination to the Lord, but the words of the pure are pleasant words. He that is greedy of gain troubleth his own house, but he that hateth gifts shall live. I hate gifts. I do. I hate them so deeply. I think that's funny. Anyway, the heart of the righteous studieth to answer, but the mouth of the wicked poureth out evil things. The Lord is far from the wicked, but he heareth the prayer of the righteous. The light of the eyes rejoiceth the heart, and a good rapport maketh the bones fat. The ear that heareth the reproof of life abideth among the wise. He that refuseth instruction despiseth his own soul, but he that heareth reproof getteth understanding. The fear of the Lord is the instruction of wisdom, and before honor is humility. And there's like a little passage here. The Lord can work most effectually through those who are most sensible of their own insufficiency, and who will rely upon him as their leader and source of strength. He will make them strong by uniting their weakness to his might, and wise by connecting their ignorance with his wisdom. If they would cherish true humility, the Lord could do much more for his people. Patriarchs and Prophets, page 553. Next chapter, why don't we? Wisdom's blessings come from the Lord. The preparation of the heart in man and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. All the ways of a man are clean in his own eyes, but the Lord weigheth the spirits. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. The Lord hath made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. Every one that is proud in heart is an abomination to the Lord. Though hand join in hand, he shall not be unpunished. By mercy and truth iniquity is purged, and by the fear of the Lord men depart from evil. When a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. Better is a little with righteousness than great revenues without right. A man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord directeth his steps. A divine sentence is in the lips of the king. His mouth transgresseth not in judgment. A just weight and balance are the Lord's. All the weights of the bag are his work. It is an abomination to kings to commit wickedness, for the throne is established by righteousness. Righteous lips are the delight of kings, and they love him that speaketh right. The wrath of a king is as messengers of death, but a wise man will pacify it. In the light of the king's countenance is life, and his favor is as a cloud of the latter rain. How much better is it to get wisdom than gold, and to get understanding rather to be chosen than silver? The highway of the upright is to depart from evil. He that keepeth his way preserveth his soul. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before the fall. Better it is to be of an humble spirit with the lowly, than to divide the spoil with the proud. He that handleth a matter wisely shall find good, and whoso trusteth in the Lord, happy is he. The wise in heart shall be called prudent, and the sweetness of the lips increaseth learning. Understanding is the wellspring of life unto him that hath it, but the instruction of fools is folly. The heart of the wise teacheth his mouth, and addeth learning to his lips. Pleasant words are as an honeycomb sweet to the soul, and health to the bones. There is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. He that laboureth for himself, for his mouth, for his mouth. I lost it. For his mouth craveth it of him. An ungodly man diggeth up evil, and in his lips there is a burning fire. Following our own way, it's a little passage. Ignorance is no excuse for error or sin, when there is every opportunity to know the will of God. A man is traveling and comes to a place where there are several roads and a guide board indicating where each one leads. If he disregards the guide board and takes whichever road seems to him to be right, he may be ever so sincere, but will in all probability find himself on the wrong road. Great Controversy, 597 and 598. True. A froward where is my English? A froward man soweth strife, and a whisperer separateth chief friends. A violent man enticeth his neighbor, and leadeth him into the way that is not good. He shutteth his eyes to devise froward things, moving his lips he bringeth evil to pass. The hoary head is a crown of glory, if it be found in the way of righteousness. That's Hoary, by the way. Hoary. Respect your elders, its little passage. And God has especially enjoined tender respect toward the aged. He says, the hoary head is a crown of glory, if it be found in the way of righteousness. Proverbs 16:31. It tells of battles fought and victories gained, of burdens borne and temptations resisted. It tells of weary feet nearing their rest, of places soon to be vacant. Help the children to think of this, and they will smooth the path of the aged by their courtesy and respect. Education, page 244. Verse 32, sorry. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city. The lot is cast into the lap, but the whole disposing thereof is of the Lord. Pretty much. That is pretty much correct. One more. Because why not? The consequence of being a fool. That is chapter 17 that we're on. Look at you guys talking in the comments. Someone said, no one can convince you of the truthfulness of Christ, but because he is indeed risen, you can seek him and find out for yourself that he is indeed God. It requires humility for sure, but also a right view of the holiness to God, his majesty, like Isaiah when he saw the Lord and his glory and responded, wow, woe is me. Wow is me or woe is me? Since our sinfulness and dependence on him becomes most apparent in the light of his majesty, we must understand the good news, the gospel, in the light of God's holiness. Only then, and the comment is not finished, I presume you're still typing for the second half, at least. Yeah, I feel you though. That's real. That's real. Let me go in, continue. The consequence of being a fool. Better is a dry morsel and quietness therewith than a house full of sacrifices with strife. Fair? A wise servant shall have rule over a son that causeth shame, and shall have part of the inheritance among the brethren. The finding pot is for silver, and the furnace for gold, but the Lord trieth the heart. A wicked doer giveth heed to false lips, and a liar giveth ear to a naughty tongue. Whoso mocketh the poor reproacheth his Maker, and he that is glad at calamities shall not be unpunished. Children's children are the crown of old men, and the glory of children are their fathers. Excuse me. Did you hear that? Children's children are the crown of old men, and the glory of children are their fathers. By the grace of God and my Father. Anyway, excellent speech becometh not a fool, much less do lying lips a prince. A gift is as a precious stone in the eyes of him that hath it. Whithersoever it turneth, it prospereth. He that covereth a transgression seeketh love, but he that repeateth a matter separateth very friends. A reproof entereth more into a wise man than 100 stripes into a fool. An evil man seeketh only rebellion, therefore a cruel messenger shall be sent against him. Let a bear robbed of her whelps meet a man, rather than a fool in his folly. Whoso rewardeth evil for good, evil shall not depart from his house. The beginning of strife is as when one letteth out water. Therefore leave off contention before it be meddled with. He that justifieth the wicked, and he that condemneth the just, even they both are abomination to the Lord. Yeah, my eyes hurt. I have bad eyes, guys. I'm not wearing my glasses now, I should be, but a friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. That's one of my favorite verses in the Bible as well. Apart from, greater he hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for a friend. Some of my most favorite verse. And this one, a friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. A brother. A man void of understanding striketh. Pardon me. A man void of understanding striketh hands, and becomes surety in the presence of his friends. He loveth transgression that loveth strife, and he that exalteth his gate seeketh destruction. He that hath a froward heart findeth no good, and he that hath a perverse tongue falleth into mischief. He that begetteth a fool doeth it to his sorrow, and the father of a fool hath no joy. A merry heart doeth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit dry the bones. It's true. It's true. I believe sickness begins in the mind. Anyway, another conversation for later. Positive attitude. A little passage. Gratitude, rejoicing, benevolence, trust in God's love and care. These are all health's greatest safeguard. To the Israelites, they were to be the very keynote of life. Ministry of Healing, page 281. There's another passage here. It says, power of the mind. I like that. For verse 22. The relation that exists between the mind and the body is very intimate. When one is affected, the other sympathizes. The condition of the mind affects the health to a far greater degree than many realize. What did I just say? Anyway, many of the diseases from which men suffer are the result of mental depression. What did I just say? Sickness begins in the mind. Sorry, guys. That's really funny to me. Well, of course, it's not funny, but you get it. Grief, anxiety, discontent, remorse, guilt, distrust all tend to break down the life forces and to invite decay and death. Disease is sometimes produced and is often greatly aggravated by the imagination. Yeah. Many are lifelong invalids who might be well. Sorry. Many are lifelong invalids who might be well if they only thought so. What is that one song? And this is awful, but it might be true. That one song, I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am rich, I am that chick. And suppose there is something to that. There is something to that. Not in that way, but you get it. It's an awful example, but you get it. Many imagine that every slight exposure will cause illness, and the evil effect is produced because it is expected. Many die from disease, the cause of which is wholly imaginary. Courage, hope, faith, sympathy, love promote health and prolong life. A contented mind, a cheerful spirit, is health to the body and strength to the soul. In quote, a merry, rejoicing heart doeth good like a medicine. Proverbs 17:22. In the treatment of the sick, the effect of mental influence should not be overlooked. Rightly used, this influence accords one of the most effective agencies for combating disease. Ministry to Healing, page 241. One of my favorite books as well, Ministry to Healing. Read that book. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. No, I'm just kidding. No, but read the book. Really. It's good. Ministry to Healing. Page Proverbs 17, verse 23 now. A wicked man taketh a gift out of the bosom to pervert the ways of judgment. Wisdom is before him that hath understanding, but the eyes of a fool are in the ends of the earth. A foolish son is a grief to his father, and bitterness to her that bare him. Also to punish the just is not good, nor to strike princes for equity. He that hath knowledge spareth his words, and a man of understanding is of an excellent spirit. Even a fool, when he holdeth his peace, is counted wise, and he that shutteth his lips is esteemed a man of understanding. Yeah. Yeah. Stoops and kissing your teeth. One more. 18. How fools live. Through desire a man, having separated himself, seeketh and intermeddleth with all wisdom. A fool hath no delight in understanding, but that his heart may discover itself. When the wicked cometh, then cometh also contempt, and with ignominy. I feel like the fish from that movie. What is that movie? The fish. That Pixar. Is it Pixar or Disney? What is that fish? Nemo? It's something. Ignominy. 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 What does it mean? I must know. Ignominy. 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 Infliction of disgrace or dishonor, the state of being disregarded or held in contempt. Infamy. That which brings disgrace or shameful reproach or a cause or source of dishonor. Synonyms. Obloquy. Opprobrium. Infamy. Ignominy. Ignominy. Weird. Ignominy. Anyway. Disgrace or dishonor. Shameful reproach. That's what it means. Ignominy. Yeah, see, it's not the T. Hi, AJ, Gonzo. How's it going? Yeah, it's not ignominy. It's Ignomi. No. Igno. Yeah, Miny. Yeah. So public shame. Yeah, or disgrace. Yeah, stuff like that. Something like that. Anyhow, let's continue. When the wicked cometh, then cometh also contempt, and with ignominy, reproach. The words of a man's mouth are as deep waters, and the wellspring of wisdom as a flowing brook. It is not good to accept the person of the wicked to overthrow the righteous in judgment. Good, thanks. Just reading along at the park. Nice. I hope you have a beautiful view. I love nature. Anyway. A fool's lips enter into contention, and his mouth calleth for strokes. A fool's mouth is his destruction, and his lips are the snare of his soul. The words of a talebearer are as wounds, and they go down into the innermost parts of the belly. He also that is slothful in his work is brother to him that is a great waster. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it, and is safe. There is a little passage. Said it's pretty chill. Good to hear. A little passage. The Lord is our refuge. We cannot save ourselves from the tempter's power. He has conquered humanity, and when we try to stand in our own strength, we shall become a prey to his devices. But the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it, and is safe. Proverbs 18, verse 10. Satan trembles and flees before the weakest soul who finds refuge in that mighty name. Desire of Ages, 131. Verse 11. The rich man's wealth is his strong city, and as an high wall in his own conceit. Before destruction the heart of man is haughty, and before honor is humility. He that answereth a matter before he heareth it, it is folly and shame unto him. The spirit of a man will sustain his infirmity, but a wounded spirit who can bear? The heart of the prudent getteth knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeketh knowledge. A man's gift maketh room for him, and bringeth him before great men. He that is first in his own cause seemeth just, but his neighbor cometh and searcheth him. The lot causeth contentions to cease, and parteth between the mighty. A brother offended is harder to be won than a strong city, and their contentions are like the bars of a castle. A man's belly shall be satisfied with the fruit of his mouth, and with the increase of his lips shall he be filled. Sorry. Canadians, sorry. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. There's a little passage, the terrible tongue. We think with honor of the cannibal who feasts on the still warm and trembling flesh of his victim. Honor, my bad. We think with horror of the cannibal who feasts on the still warm and trembling flesh of his victim. But are the results of even this practice more terrible than are the agony and ruin caused by misrepresenting motive, blackening reputation, dissecting character. Let the children, and the youth as well, learn what God says about these things. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Proverbs 18, verse 21. Education, page 235. Whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing, and obtaineth favor of the Lord. The poor useth entreaties, but the rich answereth roughly. A man that hath friends must shew himself friendly, and there is a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. The end of that verse, that chapter. A man that hath friends must shew himself friendly, and there is a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. I'd like to meet that friend. Also one of my favorite verses. Honestly, to be fair, Proverbs as a whole is an amazing book. One of my favorite books. Let me pray to close, and then I can have a little chat with you guys. How am I going to mark this off? So that was 14 until 18. Wait, yes, 18. And we will, do I not have a pencil here? I see that you guys have wrote something. I'm going to answer that in a minute. I need to find a way. I don't want to forget. Why am I like this? I always I always forget. And now I don't know where my pencil is gone. Well, that's not very cool at all. Well, okay, that'll have to do for now. I wrote it in my Constitution with my Trump lipstick. I got this at a Trump event once that I went to in Vegas. I got a Trump sweater from there, and well, they were just selling things right at these things, at these, what do they call them in English? Those little stands, right, where they sell stuff. And they had Trump lipstick. It's actually covered in gold, and when you use it, it turns red. It's very on brand for Trump, right? So for the golden era, or age, sorry, the golden age, the era was the Queen. Look at that shine, boy, or sir, sorry. And yeah, so it came through. Wrote down the number in my Constitution because I don't want to mess up my Bible, no matter how much I love it. It's actually on my cheeks right now. That's why I seem a little flushed. I can't lie. Anyway, let me pray to close, and then I'll answer the questions. I've seen some. We'll start with 19 next time and continue. I do want to get through this chapter. I started reading this to you guys before, and I stopped. So we continue. All right. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for waking us all up this morning, and thank you for another opportunity to read your word with my viewers. Please fill us with the Holy Spirit and help all the words that we read today to really touch our mind and our heart, and help us to mind our tongues and the way that we speak, and help us to remember that there's the power of life and death in our tongues, and that silence is golden, and taking time to make our decisions and having understanding with those that are around us and the circumstances which befall them. Please help us to try our best to get all the information that we can out of situations before we make decisions, and to trust your guidance in the same. Please forgive us where we have erred and strayed and gone wrong in these areas, and please fill us with your Holy Spirit and give us more opportunities. Help us to see the opportunities, to be grateful for what you are doing in our lives and in our minds and in our hearts, and help us to look positively at all of our circumstances and situations, regardless of how difficult that may be, that we may bring health to ourselves, and help us to realize the power and control that we have over ourselves and our health and our happiness and our contentment, and what that means for our progress going forward. Help us to have unity in our own mind, in our bodies, and our spirit, that we might work as a well-oiled machine for your purpose. Thank you for all that you've done and will continue to do, and please bless all of the listeners and all that they might be struggling with, and please give them courage to deal with the same. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. And bless my one friend who has a friend who he says has become the villain. I said I would pray for him too. I mention that because it's very easy to become the villain these days. So you've asked a question, sir. Howie, you said quite a lot. Let me go through it. So you said, let me go with what I just see first here. Well, no, let me go back. I read that part, and then you said message was cut off at slight type above holiness of God. Yeah, Capo, I saw that too. Howie, when I think about cults where men and women come together, there's a short list. Church really is a place for love, grace, hope, and understanding of life to be rejoiced. I think I'm going to die alone if I don't find a nice church woman. The problem is I'm so immature and don't want to hear this stuff. I'm sorry to hear that. You should talk to my dad. He's a nice guy. He's genuinely kind guy. He's not a nice guy. He's a kind guy. The Bible is a lot of sense. If I just preach common sense, aren't I kind of religious? You can do the will of God and not understand it. That's true. All good comes from God. That's what the Bible says. So if you're doing good, it's by his will and the guidance of his Holy Spirit. When you do that, it's listening to the devil. It's interesting that you have a lot of forgiveness for those who have sinned in the past. I've heard Christians who don't forgive nearly as easily. There's a spectrum of Christians who disagree on certain ideas but keep it to themselves because they have a relationship with God and believe God doesn't have a problem with their actions/worldview. Doesn't this make it easier for people to rationalize having self-proclaimed prophecy under the mask of serving God? I don't understand how that signifies. I don't understand how any of those things go together. I think you've just given me 3 separate ideologies, and I don't understand how they go together, my friend. You said also kind of unrelated, I hate rude people so much, and the idea that they are religious really annoys me. Like the amount of times I've been treated like garbage is nuts because I never do that to someone else. So I just got to sit there and take it and then wake up and try to forget I was mistreated, and that's totally normal. So, Howie, my friend, I'll use myself as an example, just my own experience, because that's all I can really do. But first, by the way, guys, do you like my hair? Look how cute. And I have like the gold clip. I'm not responsible for the back, but the front and like it's cute. It's cute. If I do say so myself, it's cute. I don't know. I liked it because usually like I put the clip in my hair and I can't get like this cute like little bump with this. And I figured it out. So I'm feeling good. But anyway, I just had to say that before I forgot. What you said though, Howie, I'll give you my example. So like I was talking about earlier, I've had so much mistreatment, genuine mistreatment from people, and so many people have. I'm not the only one. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm the only one that's had mistreatment in life, because that's not true. And if it's happening to me, it's happened to millions before me. Millions before me. Since the beginning of time. I'm not special. It's not new. It's not different. Solomon says there's nothing new under the sun, so it's been replicated many times over, and in fact, it's perfected, which is why people get away with doing it to me too. Some of the things that I've experienced, I think I'm glitching. Some of the things I've experienced, your hair is lovely. Thank you, Julian. Thank you. I really feel like it's a W. I really feel like it's a W today. I'm sorry. Okay, anyways, I'm cheesing. I'm cheesing because I'm not angry. But I've experienced so many things, so many horrific things that I can't even, I don't know, like, I don't know, like, I can't process fully, like, what you're saying. You're so angry about it, and I'm sorry you're angry about it. That makes me sad, because when you allow yourself to be angry, you can't function. You're not yourself. One of the reasons I was so angry, and the reason why I can't process what you're saying, like I said, men create circumstances, I don't. And that's why I was angry. Because no matter what I was doing this entire time, and I calculated it, to be fair, but I could never calculate it with the precision that I needed to know how I would respond on a deeper level, or feel on a deeper level in the moment that it hit me. And I knew it would. I'm not perfect. I'm wrong. I'm wrong about many things, but I was not wrong about that. And I didn't think I would be. And there's things that I did anyways to help people, because I like helping people. I'm genuinely kind, because I've suffered a great deal and I understand the consequences of the suffering. And it's not that I like people in particular, because I don't. I don't think I do. And in large part, it's because of what I've been through. But I like helping people. I don't like being around people other than if I'm doing something to be of good use. Because I don't want the potential of feeling like I'm wasting my time. I'm not much of a people person. And if I were not doing the work that I was doing with my dad right now, to help people, then I would not have much interaction with people, because I didn't before. I'm to myself, and I like that. It's my personality. I think it's also just my personality. But I don't like people. I don't do things because I like them personally. I don't. Because if I did things because I liked them personally, then I would never do anything for anyone. Because I have rarely found people that I genuinely like. Not because people are bad people, but because I have a very peculiar personality. Someone might call it type A. I don't know, where you're just such a certain way that, you're just like, I don't want the headache. I'm going to be by myself, you know? It doesn't make them a bad person. It doesn't make me a bad person. I would just prefer to be by myself, you know? But I cannot stomach evil. No matter the level, no matter the who, no matter the what, when, or where, I cannot stomach it. And my disdain for evil is far larger than my lack of palatability for people, you could say. Needless to say, I would never do anything to help anybody if I didn't have God and a good father in my life, especially a father. Because as much as I love God, and I would have God regardless if I had a father, we'll say, on the off chance that I found God, I would never be able to create the circumstances to do what I want to see. And I think men might understand what I'm saying a little bit more than women, especially women who are stubborn, as I am, and a bit younger, maybe. The thing that angered me the most, not anger really, the thing that hurt me the most, and I feel like tears coming to my eyes just thinking about it, is that in this world, if you are a woman and it is not kind to you, you cannot win. You cannot win without the help of a man. And unless I decide to do egregious evils that I know the consequence of, that I understand the consequence of, that I've lived and experienced the result, consequence of, then I'm not going to win. And I will cycle through a loop. What made me angry is not even that the worst. That I, as a woman, am predictable. I will always be predictable. Not in my day-to-day activities. No, because I'm not. Not even in what I might respond verbally, but in my actions. They're always predictable. My frustration is predictable. My anger and my sadness is predictable. My confusion is predictable. My heartache is predictable. All of my actions are predictable because I am a woman. And there are men, evil men in this world, that will create circumstances around me that I will never see and never understand. And by the time it is made clear to me, I will always lose more than what I gained stepping into the interaction. And when you're a woman in a world that's cruel and all you see is cruelty around you, there's nothing more aggravating. Nothing burns a fire in your soul more than that. In that moment, I understood this is the turning point. Like in the Bible I read today, where it talked about there'll become a point where you meet the road with the many paths. I met that road not many days ago. And I was so angry. Because I like to win. I did like to win. I still like to win. But I didn't realize that I can never win like that. Not the way that I need to. Not the way that I want to. Because any woman in my position, had I not had a father, would do unspeakable things. And I've seen it. And I was angry that because I've seen it, and because I was raised with a father who gives me real consequence, that I could not and I would not choose to feel good. Women in my situation, they choose to feel good in their anger and frustration and sadness. And I've gone many years without feeling good. There's a difference between doing things out of duty and feeling good. And serving God, a lot of times, you feel good because you're helping people. But you take such a great deal of pain and suffering. You know it's not in vain. I'm at peace knowing that I'm doing God's work. I'm at peace knowing that God loves me and He's taking care of me, that whatever happens to me, my heart is with Him. I make the error in judgment, rather, of losing my temper every now and then, if I'm honest. But I have not felt good. Not in a way that a woman would need to in my situation. On the off day, yeah, I learn Russian. I learn French. I learn whatever language, Mandarin, whatever. Whatever's fun in the moment, I don't know. But even that is not fun. Because it's not for fun. It's everything's for a purpose. And the things that I do now in life are entirely more organized. I have a very disorganized desk space. I will be honest. I have a very disorganized desk space. But everything that I do is organized. It's for a reason. It's for a purpose. It has to come together. It has to be a well-oiled machine. It has to work. It has to function. So I can't tell you the solution, and that's why I was angry. Because I don't have the solution. I will never have the solution. Because a woman in my situation is destined. I've seen it. I don't care what anyone says. I've seen it. I've lived it. the situation that I'm in, as it stands right now, I have so much empathy for women in my situation with no father. Because, man, I don't even know how to explain it to you guys. You said, Granny said, praise God that you have peace with God. Thank you, Granny. Love you too, Granny. Granny is my biggest supporter. She's always listening. God bless you, Granny. He said, it's a feature, not a bug. You're entitled to your anger. Hope you feel better. Don't be so hard on yourself. Grant yourself some compassion and grace. Thank you. I don't think I'm trying to be hard on myself. I'm trying to, maybe I'm relaying it a little bit harshly, but I'm trying to express that the reason I cannot afford myself the luxury of frustration with people, like who genuinely hurt me or harm me, is because, one, my health cannot handle it, as we read in the Bible there. Is it? Oh, hey, Granny. Yeah, Granny says hi. That's AJ. You said, just know that I'm praying for you, Kaysha. These frustrations will pass one day. Thank you. As we read in the Bible, being angry is literally harmful to you. At this stage in my life, when I get angry, I feel physical pain. I never used to have that. But that's weird to me. I feel like I used to be able to be angry. Like, angry. Like, I'm not, and I'm not very expressive, like, with my anger. I might say something to express my but I'm not gonna like throw things and blah blah. No, but I would feel so angry. But now, if I feel the slightest tinge of anger, I feel so sick. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the Matrix. I don't know if it's the deep state. I don't know if it's just, the devil in all the time. I don't know. Like the Bible says, how you feel is going to affect your health. I'm now experiencing that. I think that could be part of it. So now I'm forced in a lot of ways to contain a lot of my experience in life has done that to me as well. Tamed quite a bit. I know in circumstances how I need to behave myself. Behave is truly the answer, if you know what I'm talking about. But giving yourself into that emotion, it pulls life out of you. You can feel it. I get so weak and ill. I can't even explain it. It hurts. So I can't afford to do that. That's one, my health. Secondly, you become the thing that you hate. In those days that I was like spinning in fumes, I was just so quickly becoming like frustrated over nothing. I didn't even know why I was angry. I didn't even give myself the time. The thing is, I was angry and I didn't need to be angry. I won that battle. I triumphed that battle by the grace of God and my Father, of course. But I won, and I was still fuming. And I won, which means it had nothing to do with winning or not. It had to do with winning over myself. And that's very frustrating, because then it's like I'm to blame for this. It has nothing to do with this situation or this person or this whatever. That's me. So it doesn't matter what people do to you. I can't let somebody control me. If I stay angry because of what someone has done to me, they control me at the flick of a switch. And that's why at the beginning of this, I said along the lines, when I get this under control, when I truly have it like this, you know, that violent. But anyway, when I really get it under control, it's over. Because I feel like that's the last in me that I need to stomp out. And I will. I am. But your service to God has nothing to do with other people. At some point, you have to come to the realization that it was always God. Like I said, I've been so completely and utterly alone in this process with my dad. But my dad is my dad, you know? He's my dad. He's just my dad. Like it's normal. It's always been us, you know? It doesn't count. It does, but I'm a young woman. I need to have my own family one day. And he wants me to. The other day he was talking to me not too long ago. He was like, you know what, Kaysha, you need a husband. That's the problem. You need a husband. You need a family. I can't wait for you to get married. Leave me alone. He didn't say it like that, but you know, I'm filling things in. But he said I need a husband, and which is true. I need a family of my own. And so in that way, I've been completely and utterly alone. And I'm in America. I'm alone. And I'm not saying this is like, oh, sad, cry. No, I'm just stating some facts. Despite all of this, I thought to myself, man, God, why are you allowing me in this situation? I kept asking, why are you doing this? Why am I here? Why are people like this? Why do people do these things? Because I don't do these things. And I have experienced a whole boatload of evil, and I don't do these things. I can't understand why people do these things. Why do they do these things? It doesn't matter why they do these things. My perception was wrong. I was entirely wrong. I was asking the wrong questions. I was spinning, asking myself the wrong questions. For so long, it didn't even matter. Is this person trying to set me up? Is this person my friend? Are they pretending? Is this person just trying to be nice because they want to play me so that they can get something later and snake me? Doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, when I was in the thick of it, completely and utterly alone in this world for the last couple of years, I had nobody but my dad. But he's my dad. So nobody. He's not nobody. He's my dad. But we're looking at the bigger picture here. Actually, the best thing you can have is a dad, but I'm talking about as a young woman in the world, whatever. You get it. You have nobody. And he has nobody. We're together in this, right? So we're alone together is what I mean. If I didn't have that, I would have never realized that I had God. Because I would have attributed every single thing to, oh, well, Johnny helped me. Billy helped me over here. You know? Bob over there, he did a few things. But I didn't have that. The level of betrayal I've had was so deep. My brain couldn't even, can't even process some of it. But I don't need to. My dad does all that. You know, he processes it. He just tells me what to do. And I'm just like, got you. Let's go. You know, I can't do that with him. I haven't seen him in years. But I was given the opportunity to see that God loves me. He loves me so deeply that when I was completely and utterly alone and I had nobody, I still had everything. I was like I shouldn't be alive. Like I can't even put into words. I shouldn't be alive. For my health alone the last couple of years, first of all, I've never been plagued with disease. I'm blessed. I am blessed. I never got so ill that, I, died or whatever. Any weapon that was literally formed against me did not prosper. I've had guns pulled on me. People had machetes, knives, duct tape, rope. I was attacked by pit bulls. Ended up in the hospital. Had infection in my leg from the damn bite. Was there with my lemon juice and Epsom salt, cleaning it out every day. God. I have memories now. But I made it through everything that I should have died. Because God loved me. And He saw value in me. He saw purpose in me when nobody else did. And because of how great the attacks have been against me and my family these past 4 years, not a single person. And because we've been so alone and so isolated, not a single person can attribute any of this success to anybody but God and my Father. Do you see how amazing that is? Do you see how beautiful that is? When God is for you, no one and nothing can be against you. Nobody. Now, I don't understand it. I'm not a big person. I've gained a few pounds now, no doubt, but I'm not a very big person. I mean, I'm 5'8", I'm tall, but you get the point. My body should have collapsed. Like, honestly, a lot of days I'm sitting here and I'm like, I don't know how I'm still alive. I've seen so much stuff, guys. I've seen so much stuff, and I'm laughing now with tears in my eyes. But, God is good. And I know that when you have that experience, and it's because I'm stubborn, I didn't have to go this route. Sure, the persecution we experienced the last couple of years would have been regardless, but my relationship with God, coming to know Him, didn't have to be that difficult. I am just stubborn. And those who don't listen feel. And Granny says, Amen. Not to the stubborn. She said it before. It was a few minutes ago. I'm just putting it now. Amen, Granny. Amen. You said, you'll find Him. You are extremely capable and bright. It is inevitable. Thank you, AJ. You're very kind. You're too smart not to find an amazing person who will love you and appreciate your many unique gifts. Thank you, AJ. That's very kind. Would be awesome if you could visit him for Xmas. More than welcome to come through our dinner table if you need company during the holidays. You're a survivor. Truly good. Is good. Thank you. Truly is an amazing feeling when you have God on your corner. Amen, Julian. Awesome podcast earlier. Yeah, that's what I was going to get into next, actually, with Buck. We had a podcast with Buck Angel. I'm going to get into that. Yeah, when God is for you, and I would count it as a tyrannical hellhole, Trump cannot get into office January 20th, 2025 soon enough, because Lord knows this country needs liberation. In Jesus' name, it will be done. I am exceptionally stubborn. And be it because of, just me or, whatever, I don't know. I'm stubborn, regardless. It matters not why, the outcome is the same. It needs to be fixed. And it is. It is in progress. I made this whole journey more difficult than it needed to be on myself. That doesn't mean that I was not severely mistreated. I was. Just like so many other people, I was. And I don't want to say who cares, but who cares? Because at the end of the day, God is looking out for me. He's creating, like I said earlier, big beats small every time. Nobody is bigger than God. And these last few years, my ex-husband used to tell me that I deserved everything that was happening to me and my dad. And that God was punishing me because he was convicted of beating me to the point of putting me in the hospital. And that used to torture me. But one day I told him, you know what? Maybe I needed it. I didn't deserve it, but maybe I needed it. And I think I did. Because I am so stubborn that it might have been the only way. And when it all comes together in the end, when I look back, I'm sure I would say I would not change a thing. Because it's given me my salvation. It's given me an understanding that I would have never otherwise had. And a trust in God and a relationship that I would never otherwise had. And that's not something money can buy. That's not something. So in the grand scheme of things, Billy, Johnny, John Boy hurt you. But who's going to hurt the longest if you hold on to it? Is it worth your salvation? It's not worth mine. I couldn't even be myself in those days I was angry. I didn't know how to be myself. I couldn't write anything. My mind was just going and going. It wasn't even thinking about anything, but it was going and going, and it was exhausted. You were talking about AJ, the podcast from earlier we did with Buck Angel. One of my best podcasts, honestly. I had so much fun. It was so personal to me. Buck Angel she calls herself, or Buck calls herself transsexual. Buck tried to not tried to, because Buck transitioned from the top surgery and also the medication, and has a beard and everything. If you know Buck Angel, then or go look at Buck on X. Awesome advocate for children's rights and human rights advocate, speaking so much facts, like on such high levels, like things that most people will never understand in their lifetime. Extremely smart, extremely intelligent. I am looking forward to my next show with Buck, honestly. Anyway, you said, I've been lurking for a few minutes. I wanted to thank you for sharing your testimony. Your transparency and story of deliverance is truly an inspiration. God bless you, Ben B. Man. God bless you. Thank you. By the grace of God and my Father alone, thank you. Buck is an exceptional person, but exceptionally smart. And the podcast today was with Buck, Ben, on you could check it out on X, on the Karis Project. I'll put it in the comments here, the Karis Project. I'll type it for you. And the reason why I appreciate it so much is because Buck explained why, women get into, or why these trans kids get into this. And Buck doesn't say, okay, well, they're like, she's trans or whatever. She's like, I'm born a woman and I went through as an adult these procedures. And she's so like realistic about what her experience was. And you said my cousin got baptized yesterday, and the message very much, you're not alone, whether that's through God directly or God working through your family, friends, even strangers. You just yeah. And that's true, because strangers you just met. Yes, I found that God loved me so much that he used, and I'm going to say that I'm going to deviate for a second, digress for a second to explain this. I'll go back to Buck. God loved me so much that he used the most unlikely person to touch my heart. When I tell you the most unlikely person that I would have never regarded a single day in my life, not because they're a bad person, just because I'm just not that person to even much. Like I said, I'm not a people person. And it touched me in a way that made me so angry. I had to keep going down the hole. And the more I went down the hole, the more I had to go closer to God. And it's a weird thing. A complete stranger. Because I was angry. How dare you help me? For whatever reason that I don't know. How dare you? Don't help me. I fix things by myself. Maybe that's why I was so fuming the other day. Part of the reason. Because each of those little helps were in large part men. But anyway, I realized that God did that because he loves me and he cares about me, and it doesn't matter. You said that was the stubbornness. It was, because I was like, how dare you help me? I can do it by myself. How dare you think that I need your help? How dare you think me so useless or small that I need your help? But I do. And I'm okay with that. Now I'm okay with it. But the way this relates to Buck is because, and why I'm so glad that we had Buck on today, is because I've been struggling so deeply inside with that for so long. When I was in high school, I went through the trans ideology, and I was going to do it. I was going to do it. I was going to do it. Because I was stubborn, and I wanted to fix things by myself. I was very traumatized by some things that I went through as a kid, and I didn't want to deal with the emotions. And you said, thank God for your father, though. Yes, that's exactly what I'm getting to. My dad stopped me. I was going to get top surgery. I didn't know anything about bottom, and I would never have done that. I know myself, I would never have done that. Maybe if I got on the medication and got messed up in the head, I don't know. But I fully believed it. I thought I had a boy brain. I was like, I don't think like these girls. Not that I'm like, oh, like I'm so special. I was just like, no, I just don't think like them. And I don't care about this. I don't care about that. I don't really care about being pretty or anything. Not that I didn't know that I was pretty. I didn't care. It didn't mean anything for me. It wasn't anything, long standing. I knew it wasn't going to get me anywhere. My father raised me that, Kaysha, your beauty is not going to get you anywhere. You're beautiful, but it's not going to help you. It might get you in a door, but it won't keep you. You need assets. You need genuine capability. You need genuine skills. You need to be able to benefit somebody, someday, company, or organization, whatever, a husband. And he told him he would set me up for things since I was small. My tribe, as you guys know, I'm Native on my mom's side. We're enrolled in our tribe, and one of their languages, because they speak Michif, but they also speak French. We're also Cree, so anyway. My dad put me in a French immersion school when I was a kid. He was like, you know what, you might enjoy working for the government one day. Who knows? Whatever you want to do, I'm going to raise you in a way where I give you the most possible outcomes for you to choose from. So he teach me languages and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, as a kid, I was like, whatever. Yeah, I didn't really think about it, but my dad was thinking about my future. And I thought he was just being dumb, just plaguing me with more things to do all the time. Why do you hate me? No. But when I got to high school, and I got in all this mess, I thought to myself, okay, I don't think like these girls. I don't know why. Matters not. Don't care. The outcome is I just don't think like them. I'm not quite like men, but I get on better with them in a casual sense, like because I spent a lot of time watching my dad fix his cars all the time. When he was back from the rigs, I would sit with my dad and watch him fix his car and, play with the basketball or whatever and talk with him. And we would go out to eat or go out to shopping or something. Whenever he was back, he would take me shopping. He hated it. He hated shopping, but he would take me. We would go and he's like, this looks like it'll fit. Pick it up. Let's go. I was like, what if it doesn't fit? Then we'll come back and buy a new one. I was like, but what if they don't replace it? I'll just buy a new one. I don't care. It's like, let's go. I can't stand this place. And it was a good time all around. It was always a good time. But I just didn't feel that I fit in mentally and emotionally with women because I was also very shut down emotionally. And I'm like that. A lot of people think that I'm robotic in a lot of ways. I'm not robotic. I would say I just don't give as much regard to emotion. And that sounds weird for probably men that are listening because you can see a lot of emotion out of me. But for a woman interacting with me, I'm not very emotional at all. A lot of women that interact with me are like, you are too cold. you don't, not because I don't express emotion. I don't give them any of myself. I never give people myself. And so for women, that's very strange because they're very relative. They connect through relativity. And I don't care to be relative. I just don't care. And so you said your visual beauty is amazing, but the beauty is your heart and in your mindset is something that will take you to another level. Exactly. That's exactly it, AJ. Like what's inside is what matters. He said, gotta go. Phone is dying. Have a good night, Kaysha. Thanks for an amazing stream and earlier podcast. Thank you for joining. Catch you later, AJ. But yeah, anyways, I didn't feel I related. And I didn't really look for any way to either because I was running from the responsibility of trying to place myself in a woman form, like as a future mother, as a future wife. And I just thought I wouldn't be good at it at all. And sometimes even now thinking about it, the idea is so foreign. I can't even picture myself having kids because I don't know. I would like a family, but the idea doesn't sit in my mind the way it once did. I want it. It's not there. And that's because of what I've been through. And Buck brought in the aspect where women who are traumatized sexually as a kid, molested and all these other things, sorry to YouTube, whatever, they end up going down this route. And that's true because and the reason why I said earlier, God put it in my heart. God used a complete stranger to touch my heart because I had, for so many years, because of what I experienced as a kid, shut down emotionally. I didn't care about anything. I don't even know how to explain it. I didn't care about anything. Like nothing moved me. Like nothing. I didn't like injustice. And I can say that. Like I would, if I saw something happening to someone, yeah, I wouldn't let it stand. But in my own personal life, I was like, man, get out of here. Like, I don't care. Leave me alone kind of thing. Like, don't even try me. You know what I mean? I didn't want any type of connection. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but I was completely shut down. And I tell my dad all the time, like, man, I don't care. I don't care. It's like my favorite word. My granny would tell me all the time, Kaysha, you have to stop saying I don't care. Because one day you're going to say it, you're going to regret it. You're going to say it to someone you love and you're going to regret it. She said it's a terrible thing. She's right. My granny's like right most of the time. Anyway, my dad would tell me, Kaysha, you haven't lived long enough to meet somebody that will change the way you feel. It's like, I don't believe you. Nobody makes me feel anything. I don't care. I genuinely meant it. And I couldn't see what he could see, which is that I would one day come across somebody that would make me think and feel things that I didn't know was possible and open a part of my heart that I didn't know existed. And that terrified me, made me so angry. You think saying you don't care is just a protective thing, though, for yourself? It's definitely a protective thing. Well, no. It's a protective thing, but I genuinely didn't care because I didn't. For my own personal interactions, if someone was suffering, I couldn't stand it. I'm helping you. But on a person-to-person level, it wasn't because I deeply loved that person. It's because I knew what happened to them was wrong, and maybe I had experienced it and I hated it, so I did it for them. Because I couldn't stand the evil. I hated the evil more than I hated interacting with people. And my father, growing up, raised me to do the things that I hate doing. So if I didn't like doing it, he was like, you need to do this. If it was for my growth. Oh, why do I have to do this? My friends, they don't have to do any of this. I'm not your friend's father. I'm your father. And I need to make sure that you succeed in life. So yeah, go out and shovel the snow. Come on, let's go. Or come on, go get a job, you know? And go get a job. Or Kaysha, call and book your doctor's appointment. You need to go see the doctor for a checkup. Book your appointment. Why are you making me do this? I hate it. That's what I would tell him. I hate it. I don't care. I don't care. It's my favorite word since I was a kid. I genuinely thought I didn't care because I didn't feel, apart from my family, I couldn't really feel, because I went through as a kid being trafficked through the family court system and being like sexually abused. The way that affects a girl, like as a kid, like you just shut off. Like you just shut off. My aunt used to tell me before I went to foster care, I was so bubbly and smiley and happy all the time. And when I came back, I didn't even want to speak to anybody. I didn't want to touch anybody. I didn't want anyone to look at me. And that makes sense. But she didn't understand it back then. She was young too, my aunt. And so like she would get frustrated and stuff. But that led me to, I held on to that throughout growing up. I held on to it because I was an angry kid. I was an angry kid. And I didn't care about anything. I didn't care about anything. And I thought I didn't care about anyone. I used to tell my dad, when I get older, I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm going to go on about my business and be by myself. And then my dad was like, no, you would never do that. You love your family and we love you and you would never do that. And when I went off to move to Toronto, I realized what my father was saying to me in practicality. And again, I only understood it practically. It didn't hit me emotionally. When we went through what we were dealing with, exposing, and I see your comment there, Ben, I'm going to come to it in a second. When we went through being persecuted in early 2020 for being whistleblowers, I understood it then, but it didn't hit me emotionally. Because I was like, this is the world. I knew this was going to happen. Because I calculated everything I thought I did. I'm really good at that. I'm very intuitive. And I calculated almost every potential that I met. Even my sister. Which hurts me, but I predicted the hurt from that, and I predicted it happening. Not to the level that it happened, because I couldn't have known that. I'm just talking about the outcome because women see outcomes. I was just like, man, I knew this was going to happen. I can't stand this evil, blah, blah, blah. What I didn't predict was after all the weight of the evil, coming across one act of mercy out of the blue that would actually touch me. I couldn't have predicted that. Yeah, thumbs up. I don't know if you guys can see the little thumbs up it's making. I couldn't have predicted that. And that spared my heart from breaking. I'm not even going to lie to you. Because in all these moments, like I said, the trans ideology is like an addiction. Like I said in our stream earlier, for those who've seen it. And when you go through a hard time, the first thing you want to do is go back to that. Because it's comforting, it's comfortable. You can hide yourself in it, and it feels good. And I couldn't even do that. But in all of it, I had a father that was pushing me to do the things that I needed to do. And he, which, created the circumstances for my success in the overall picture, and it continues to, because I am well adjusted. But in part, my dad was right. He's always right. Like, I don't know how he sees these things and he knows these things. He has a lot of experience in life. The guy's just smart. Okay. The guy's just smart. He said, one day someone is going to do something that's going to make you feel something. And you're going to change your mind. And it's going to drive you insane. He said that person is going to make you feel things. that you never thought you could feel, and you're going to be very angry. They're going to push your buttons in a different way. And I'm not saying this in a very personal way, because I didn't get to make any personal friends along the last couple of years. But I was shocked, and to this day I'm shocked, that God was able to use certain people to touch my heart and soften me and preserve me in the most unlikely way. Like, it still blows my mind, because when I tell you, I don't care was my motto. I don't care was my motto. Like, through and through, my heart, in my mind, was cold. And I didn't care. And anyway, a lot of what I did was automotive. If this happens, do this. If that happens, do this. It was very predictable, because I wasn't allowing myself to feel. I didn't know how. But in this situation that I was in the last couple of years, my dad, because he raised me in that kind of automotive way, by the time, like, even though you don't want to do something, you need to do it because it's the right thing. By the time I was presented with a feeling that was foreign to me, that made me feel something, I knew how to handle it and what to do with it, regardless of all the moving pieces around me that I don't understand, because that doesn't matter. It's just, now I knew what to do with myself and how to operate with those around me, and why it was so important to do the things that we did, and how and whatever. And it's important because when you are dealing with women in this issue, women are very, like, internal against themselves. When they start doing things that's outward, it's when you have to be very worried. And anyways, Buck brought so much insight. She spoke about so many things that I so personally dealt with and felt. And women who go through, like, she had an array of, you guys have to go back and look at it. I'm not going to tell you. You have to go back and look at it. When women go through it, a plethora of things, being homeless, forced to exchange sex for money, or, being sexually abused, or all sorts of stuff, being attacked. There's like two ways they're going to probably go. They're going to give it. I didn't even realize. There's like two ways they're probably going to go. They're going to become very deviant, or degenerate, or whatever else, whatever you want to call it. Or they might become very, they might try to shy away and hurt themselves. And a part of that trans ideology is hurting yourself, because you recognize the evil on a logical basis, and you're like, you know what? I'm just going to take myself out, and I'm just going to. And I see that the people that were attacking us the last couple of years were pushing me down that route. Either become super degenerate or destroy yourself. And for me, it would have been an easy decision like that. Because I don't really care about having personal interactions with people, or building that close, intimate connection with them. I'm just not really, like I said, nothing really moved me until last year. And so people who who look at that ideology need to start understanding those things. Wait, you asked a question. I have a friend who recently came out as non-binary and has been going full force with trans allies posts to understand where they're coming from. Do you mind if I ask a question about the trans ideology? Yeah, you can ask a question. Overcoming a cruel world is not easy, especially at a young age. Yes, it is. What hormone blockers do: temporarily pause puberty, decrease dysphoria, give young people time to solidify their trans identity. Oh, that's what they posted. Do not forget to show hospitality to strangers. For by doing so, some people have shown hospitality to angels without knowing it. Hebrews 13:2. I firmly believe God sends angels along the path. Yeah. This was a graphic that what hormones blockers do, ruin the lives of innocent people. Yes, it does. My question. Oh, you waited so long to write the question, my friend. I'm sorry. Just write the question next time. It's fine. I'm sorry. I can get on talking. How much of these facts are based on actual research in medicine, and how much of these are outright lies? You know what? The medicine that they use, Lupron, is it? To block the puberty of the children is what they use to sterilize pedophiles. There's that. But the fact is, we need to stop looking at the end result. We need to look at how the people got there. And this is why I'm actually telling you what I've been through the last couple of years. It's not like, oh, no, because that I don't care for. What I'm actually trying to explain to you is how women get there and why it's so dangerous and why men are needed. And this is why women get angry. I'm telling you, as a woman who's been through this, this is why women get so ripping mad. I mean, if I could have ripped my hair out the other day, I might have. I don't know. I was so fuming. I think you guys get the point, but I was so fuming. Because a woman in that situation who's that traumatized, a lot of, like Buck said, these women that go through the trans, even the boys, but I'm not a man, so I can't speak of men's mentality, how they get there. But it's still usually trauma. But I just can't explain it because I'm not a man. When women are sexually abused as children, or in general, women see things relatively, what relates to them. This is what I was saying earlier in the stream with the interview with Buck. Women learn things by experience, which is why a lot of women say, oh, well, I have to do this to understand it, because women learn through understanding. I think it's part of why we are mothers and raise children. We are relative to that child. We understand in our experience and relation to that child, which is why a mother can be different with every child to fit their need, right? They don't create the circumstances, but they fit that need by being relative emotionally and experientially with that child. And they learn through that. And when it comes to being abused in such an intimate and personal way with women, it's like a movie that plays through your mind over and over and over again, and it doesn't stop. It never stops. And the only way to make it stop is to have a positive relative experience. And women who don't have good fathers around, even if they do, they might make the mistakes, because women take their own choices. I made many mistakes in my life, which were my own choice. But my ability to supersede things is different because of my father, regardless of my mistake. because I have a father that creates circumstances. Women who don't have good fathers will go seeking ways to make that movie in their head go away. And it's something so deeply inside of you. It's like you can't wash it off. It's uncomfortable to sit and breathe oxygen in such a state. You feel so uncomfortable all the time. It is a torment that I honestly, it's more merciful to kill somebody. Honestly. And I think that's why the Bible says it, raping someone is like rising up against your neighbor or your brother and killing them. Anyway, they need a new experience. And so they go around sleeping with other people, looking for the positive experience, or going with another man to try and date or whatever, to soothe the pain of the film that sits on repeat every moment of every day that they meet silence. And that's why women do that. And so anyway, regardless, I used to have these conversations with my dad as a kid. People think my dad, sometimes they're like, oh, your dad doesn't understand you, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you're very stupid. You're very stupid. Because my dad was understanding with me enough that even though he hated a lot of the things that I did, he was like, Kaysha, if you sit down and talk to me, we can fix it. I might not like it, and you might get consequences, but I can help you. So I'm very honest with my dad. So anyway, I had a lot of conversations with him, and I would tell him, well, I'm very angry about this, and this is what I plan to do about it. And he'd tell me, well, Kaysha, if you do that, this is going to be the consequence of your actions. And sometimes I listened and sometimes I didn't. And that's what it was. And surely I found my consequence. And the thing is, a lot of the women who go around sleeping with a boatload of other men to soothe their hurt feelings, because they don't know how to fix the pain in their mind, it's driving them mad. They end up hurting themselves more, because although you feel good in the moment, which is why a lot of women today are sex addicts. They're out here doing more deviant things sexually than a lot of men. I'm not even going to lie to you. The stuff that I see, it's insane. The things that I hear women say, it's insane. Even like, I'm a woman, I'm listening. I'm like, this is insane. Please, I'm uncomfortable. And so they'll go and do that because in the moment it feels good. It soothes them to go and sleep with that man that might look good, or him take her out and whatever, because she can forget, she can breathe. But then when she's alone again, and as soon as that guy is no longer nice to her, the weight of the original pain comes crashing down with the weight of the added pain that she's given herself. And it all feels the same. It all feels the same. Regardless of if it was the same or not, it feels the same because she's adding the trauma to herself in attempts to finding a solution, and it doesn't work. Right? When you have a father, though, he can create the circumstances for you to make a change in that. And by the way, let me digress for a second. Guys, if you want to ask questions in the super chats, go ahead. There's actually quite a few of you here, I just noticed. So if you feel like asking some questions in super chats, go ahead. I'll answer your questions. I appreciate. So yeah, when you have a father, though, even if you make a mistake, he can create a circumstance around you so that you will learn the consequences of your mistakes. You will take accountability for them. You'll understand the who, what, when, where, why, how you got there every step of the way, so that you can prevent yourself from doing it again. And even if you made a mistake, you can go past the mistake mentally. You can go above the mistake mentally. Eventually I got to the point where like my dad helped me so much. I didn't even think of the things that happened to me as a kid. I never went through my days like, thinking about, man, this happened to me. I didn't care. you know, it didn't cross my mind. But there were a lot of signs because I was holding on to so much anger and resentment in my heart that I didn't let go of. I made so many mistakes because I let how I feel dictate my day-to-day endeavors. And I was chasing feeling good. And so I went to the trans ideology. As soon as it became an option, as soon as it was presented to me, I was like, bam, that's me. That's me, baby. A boy brain and a girl body. Alleviate myself 100%, But it was an instant gratification for a long-term suffering because everything I did to meet that end hurt me more. And every time I put myself in competition to men in a way that I thought was wholesome, I hurt myself very badly, very, very badly. And I had to take L's. I took so many L's and I swallowed them. And I was like, nah, I can't do this anymore. This is crazy. The L's that I'm taking is just insane. Right? You said OF being a normal thing in society now. That's what's crazy to me. Well, I'm not surprised with the amount of rampant abuse. And this is what I'm talking about. It is crazy, but it's easier access now. And that's what we were talking about earlier. Buck was saying that when she was engaging in that like years ago, like that industry, you had to go to the store to get the DVD and, or the booklets or whatever. And it was a whole different thing. There was a lot more censorship for it. Now kids can get it online and it's crazy. I have a phone call at 8. So going, always thank you for sharing. God bless. God bless you too. Did you hear about the young woman who was shot up in Christian school in Wisconsin? No, wait a second. I might have. I'm not sure. Unless you send me the link. I'll have to look into it before I comment. But that's messed up. Regardless, that's messed up. But anyhow, we need to start looking at how these things happen. I'm really frustrated with people constantly looking at the end result because the end result is like, sometimes I say to myself, okay, it doesn't matter how we got here. The result is the same and I need to fix it because some things you're like, okay, but that's when you already know, okay, like the steps there and it's like, okay, that's inconsequential, whatever. I'm just going to fix it. You spilt milk, whatever, clean it up. Go about your day. No use crying over it. When it comes to stuff like this, though, this is exceptionally dangerous because these women, they get hurt in these ways, and a lot of them are very smart. Buck is an exceptionally smart person. Exceptionally smart. The stuff that Buck was talking about today on the show, most people do not come to understand in their lifetime. They'll never come to understand it. And like, I've got mad respect for Buck. Like I said, I can't wait for the next show. But kids need protection. And that's not going to come unless people know where these things come from and people acknowledge the fact that this is mental illness. Buck said herself, like, this is mental illness. And it's a mental disorder that she lives with. And she said she's not a man. Like, she knows that she is different still. Like mentally, she's still different. And even still, it shouldn't be offered to children. It is something that If an adult wants to do and they want to go about their business and do, by all means. But the natural tendencies of women is being preyed on because a woman in that situation. Now, I'm not saying you can make excuses for your decisions and become an evil person. No. I'm talking about cause and effect because every action has an equal and opposite reaction. And when you put a kid at its youngest, like a very young age, and you introduce them to disgusting things. In Canada, the earliest age that I was going to say socialist. Well, they might as well be. What is that? Sociologists, social workers. They put out statistics that the youngest age children engage in sex is kindergarten. No, that's abuse. That's not sex. That's abuse. And what are these kids going to do? Especially young girls, they want to feel good. They're going to go out and try to replicate these behaviors around them. Even boys replicate it, but I'm not a boy. I'm not a man. I can't speak for men. But kids will replicate these behaviors around them, and they'll keep doing it, and they'll keep traumatizing themselves. They're children. This is happening to children. And then by the time they're 18, they're 17, still a child. By the time they're 18, what do you expect? What do you expect? And then are you going to blame a kid for being raped as a kid? And then replicating behaviors as a child? No. They didn't know any better. Like, they're kids. And once upon a time, if something like that happened, there would be investigation and people would be going to jail. But now we just let it slide. Why? And guess what? You let it slide. And one of those girls, those really smart girls, because you know what? The smart girls are the ones that do the most. You let it slide, and one of those girls, she becomes a teacher one day. And she's got your John boy in her class. And he comes home one day and tells you what she did. I'd lose my mind. I'm telling you right now. This is what's happening. Those women who don't get help, who are left circling the drain, they go on to be the worst predators because they nurture you into it. They nurture you into it. They try to make you comfortable while they do it. It's disgusting. If people care about themselves and their families and their children, they'll do something about this. And shaming women and saying to them, oh, because like I said, there's two ways a girl goes about this. I'm going to destroy other people, or I'm going to destroy myself, because it's about feeling good. Destroying people feels good to a lot of women who are traumatized. They get off on it. It's amusing to them, like a cat playing with a mouse before it eats it. And if he gets satisfied enough killing it, just walk away from it. Won't even eat it. That's what women are like. But when she decides not to be degenerate, she's like, I'll just take myself out. Do you know what I mean? So anyways, it's very sick. It's very sick. I don't want you guys to be thrown up or anything. But the point stands that there is a lot to look into with this stuff. And when I say that they're preying on the natural tendencies of women, it's because they know that when you traumatize a woman this way, she will act out this way by nature because she doesn't know what else to do. She doesn't have solutions. She literally does not know what to do. And if she realizes at a very young age about the cruelty of the world and what I've realized in the last 4.5 years, that you are completely and utterly alone and she doesn't know God and she doesn't have a father, well, yeah, that's pretty much it. That rage will only be soothed by destroying absolutely everything and everyone around her. She'll do it with a smile on her face. I really hope the rumors of Trudeau resigning are true. I hope so too, my friend. I hope so too. And then we have a bunch of women around the country who are constantly being destroyed by a lot of their own volition by going into feminism. But a lot of them were beguiled by feminism because of their upbringing. Regardless, they chose. Whatever, they chose. We just look at how the government is instituting a lot of these things so that they can get what they want. Because ultimately, the people at the top who are doing this, they understand the outcomes. Like men, like my dad says, men play chess, women play checkers. They understand the outcomes of everything that's happening. Men read actions. This is why I was always screwed. This is why I was still always screwed. No matter what I did, the men around me were creating circumstances for me to do what I was doing, because they knew if they did this, I would do that. If they did A, I do B. They did C, I do D. Predictable. Women are so predictable. And when we're in the box, all we see is the box, and we want to play by the rules of the box. We don't see that there's a whole world outside of it, because we don't create that world. We just live in it. We'll shake it, but we don't create it. I'm glad for that. It's too much stress for my head. But wait, let me see if you said, wait, I'm just seeing your comments now, Howie. You said, right, I really feel that I don't like to be kind unless I'm helpful, unless it feels fake. Yeah, same. This is why I like you, because you're obviously not a Bible saleswoman. I've never been a saleswoman. I did work at Fossil for a short period, but not a saleswoman. I connected with people more personally, like through their language or whatever else that I liked. You have beliefs that are contrary to common beliefs. I admire that. Well, grace of God, my Father. Thank you. Yes, I do agree. If I were a woman, this whole thing would probably be much harder. It's easier for me to be alone. People in the street don't want to mess with me because I'm a man. If I were a woman, a beautiful woman like you, I would have to wear an extra layer of anxiety and fear that I don't have to bear because I'm a man. Fair. I don't leave my room. I don't go outside unless I have to. I don't even go outside for walks really anymore. I've talked to some womanizers before, and they try to explain it to me, but basically they play always offense. That way the woman gets used to playing defense. It will start with compliments and genuine love, but quickly turn into criticism of looks, attitude, behavior that keep the woman's self-esteem down, and her ability to be controlled becomes much less of a challenge. That's correct. My dad said those people are predators, and they're not good men, because a good man creates the circumstances for your success, and doing something like that works against the interest of a woman because it hurts her, and she's too emotionally in turmoil for her to do anything productive. All she's consumed by is, does he hate me or not? And it takes away from her ability to do anything productive. You can get a lot out of a woman by lifting her up and still giving her constructive criticism at the same time, not just, breaking her down or whatever else. I don't understand men like that, because my dad never done anything like that to me. And he tells me all the time the things that he doesn't like that I do. And I never think, okay, like he hates me, or, like I know he's just literally like, okay, Kaysha, like I'm not feeling that, man. That's my dad's. Nah, man, I'm not feeling that. That's my dad. Nah, man. I'll say I genuinely don't appreciate the way you're talking to me, or I don't like the disrespect. Like, you can express yourself, but don't be disrespectful. Like, you can only expect a woman to give you what you give her. Like, you're leading her. Like, my dad, he's like, I can't talk to you this way, or else you're going to talk to me that way. Like, I have to show you by my example. That's what Jesus did. He showed us by his example. So that's what my dad did with me. It would be so funny if you hosted live speed dating sessions. Why do you say that? Who knows? Maybe Gen Z conservative connection. I don't know. Working as a prison guard is crazy. It's like you're a hell hall monitor. You work as a prison guard. And what kind of facility? Ex-husband? Yes, ex-husband. I was married before, if you can even call it that. Aren't you still angry? It's just a lot less now. I see. I'm not angry, but I do express Proverbs Guys Ministry. Are you interested in covering the books of Proverbs on a much larger platform? We're searching for show hosts. Oh, that would be cool. Reach out to me on X, Proverbs Guys Ministry. My handle is this on X, and this. I'll give you both. I'll give you both the handles. And you can. And you can reach out to me there, and you can't find. If you look in the description, there should be a description with all the contact info. If not, I just wrote in the chat my handle on Twitter /X that you can reach out to me. So try that. Try finding me on there, and yeah, that would be cool. I'd like to have a discussion about it. I don't mind. I like it. No, are you still angry? You said. And I'll wrap up soon, guys, because I've been here almost 3 hours. But to be fair, I've been gone for about like a week now. I don't know. No, I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I'm passionate when I'm speaking, because when you think back at it, I'm like you're gonna feel it really. Proverbs Guys Ministries. I also put my email there in the chat. 0121. You've sent a blank comment, or at least I don't see it. I don't see the comment. Sorry. I'm not angry still. I actually feel really good. I wouldn't be on here if I was genuinely like cheesed, because I felt I wrote it all out. And that's another thing. Like, when you're really frustrated, you kind of neglect the things that are pretty good for, you going forward. And I wasn't writing anything because, like I said, I had to think about it. Oh, yeah, you're a Brummy. I forgot. 0121. You're Brummy. What's good, Brummy? He said, going to go now, as got work soon, pretty late. So this Brummy boy is going to sleep too. But please keep going, because God and his people have got you. Thank you, Brummy. That's my friend from UK. My Brummy mate. Sorry. I have to. I'm so funny. My UK Bretta. Anyway, no, I'm not really angry. I'm expressing to you the anger that I did have. Because it's like, as a woman, the control that I have of circumstances is not the same as a man would, and it's hard. It's really hard to feel the cruelty of the world and to see it and to know it, and to think I won't have help without it. And then I was mad because I'm like, how dare any man even think that he should? Because if I don't know the reason why you're helping, like, don't help me. Stay away from me. Because I can't control the information. I don't know what's going on. I don't know where all the pieces are. I can't, you know. And that's why I was angry, because I'm like, there's something happening around me that I don't understand and I don't know, and it made me scared and uncomfortable. Because I'm like, why? Like, what's the point? Like, if I don't care, why do you care? Or do you not care? Like, what is this game? What is this sick joke? That's how it feels. But you have to be realistic, and like I said, understand that that doesn't matter. For me as a woman, that information does not matter, because my dad is instructing me to do the things that's going to help me regardless, and he as a man understands the things that men are doing, and everything he instructs me to do is good for me, and I trust him, which is why I do them. And we've built that relationship, and every family should, because that is the best protection you can have. So regardless of whatever it would be, if it was kindness or if it was betrayal, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I ended up, in the end, better for it, because I developed an ability in the most unlikely way, to feel things that I never thought I would feel, that I never thought I would open myself to feel, that I never thought I could feel. I genuinely thought I could not feel certain things. But my dad always told me, no, Kaysha. He always, like, I tell you guys all the time, I'm stubborn. My dad tells me, and I just don't listen. I don't believe him sometimes. I'm like, no, man, because I can't see it. I can't see it. I'm like, no, like, this is not possible. I'm telling you. And I'll tell my dad, you don't understand what I'm saying to you right now. And he's like, no, I understand. You don't understand. You're telling me something I'm not telling you. You're telling me something I didn't ask. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, I learned. He's just like, you know what? You're just going to have to find out. And I'm like, I'm sure. I make my bets and he makes his. And I get screwed. I don't get screwed. I get better. But I lose. I lose more than I win with my dad. But that's a good thing. I'm glad. I'm very glad for that. Said, I emailed you, sis. Thanks. Look forward to hearing from you. God bless. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. And I'll take a look at it later with my dad. See what we can do. Yeah. And I end up, at the end of it, I'm glad for everything that I experienced, because I kept my purity. I kept my innocence. The stuff that my dad did to push me to keep going in situations that I didn't want to. Sometimes I would be yelling, I hate this. I hate what I'm doing. I hate the situation. I hate how these people are treating us. It's not fair. It's not right. It's like, Kaysha, doesn't matter. It's not the point. By the time I had the opportunity to feel what I thought I would never feel, I was able to take all that I learned and apply it to those around me in a more personal way. And that's a really beautiful thing. Because now I've opened myself to vulnerability and to love and kindness and appreciation. And because I've opened myself to it, I can give it to people more. And even if they don't appreciate it, I am genuine. I am genuine, and I'm good intended, and I mean well, and I'm doing what God asks me to do. And even if I don't get anything back from it, it's for God's purpose. He knows why. and things will work out in the end. I don't have to worry about it. So I'm not angry. I'm glad because now I have hope. I had a lot of faith. I've always had a lot of faith. I think for me, faith was actually the easy part because I found, even though that it's the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen, I thought that faith was a little bit more logical. And in a lot of ways it is. But I didn't have hope for things for myself emotionally. And I'm not trying to portray myself as a psychopath at all. That's not at all it, because I felt many emotions, happy, sad, angry, whatever. That's not what I meant. It's about, the deeper connection with somebody on a one-to-one basis, like that vulnerability. And I now have the ability to do something that I never even imagined that I could do. It was in my mind that I would not. I was convinced. I would never. And if that itself, I bawled my eyes out like a child months ago because I couldn't handle the realization of it. And I feel like a completely different person. I've opened up the door of many possibilities for myself and my ability to work well with others and understand them and appreciate them. And I'm grateful for that. Everything that's come out of this, regardless of how bad it's been, I've come out better. I've come out stronger. I've come out wiser. I've come out more patient, more mature, more compassionate, more long-suffering. Granted, I do get angry easily sometimes, I'm not going to lie, but nevertheless, I'm a better person for all of it. So, am I angry? I was angry. Am I angry now? No. Doesn't mean I'm not going to be angry in the future. I might get angry in the future here and there. I'm a woman. I'm a human. Anger is something felt by everybody, but it's about how I respond to the anger that matters. And now I understand that how somebody responds to me, I knew logically before, and I understood this very deeply, or else I would never have gotten where I was today. I understand that how someone responds doesn't matter. But for my own personal progress, I'm getting to a point where I'm getting in a good routine where I'm just going regardless. It doesn't matter how I feel. I'm doing it regardless. And I like that. That feels good. In the moment, it doesn't. But over the long stretch of time, when things start to really progress, I'm like, yes. Yes. Because it's more power over myself. I'm angry when I feel like someone else has power over me. And that's what the anger does. Anger makes someone else have power over you when you need it over yourself. And then that person controls you. Like you said, like it starts with genuine love and kindness, or whatever the words you used were. Sorry. And then they start criticizing in a way that makes a woman feel bad about herself or whatever. And then because she's so focused on that, it destroys her. Because women see what's in front of them. I want to get to the point where none of it phases me. I'm a human. Like, yes, I feel it. And this is what my dad used to tell me all the time. Kaysha, you need to learn how to process in real time. There's a lot of things that I do. There's a few things I can work on yet. But process emotions in real time so that you can adequately deal with them. You know what's going on. You know where it's coming from. Okay, good. Now put it to proper use. Because it doesn't matter. Nothing even matters to me. So you get the point. You get the point. Trials and tribulation makes you better. doesn't make you worse. It makes you better if you let it. Because even all the bad things that happen to you, the people, they're all teaching you something. Every single one of them. And like I said, I won the last situation, really. I won. But I had nothing to be angry about. I was angry about myself. Why is this doing this? You said that's true. Yeah, it is. With women, it's a harder pill to swallow that if I don't secure the kindness and grace and mercy of a man one day, then I will be screwed. That is what causes a lot of women to retreat, because they're so scared of the pain and suffering that they dealt with in the cruelty of the world. They would rather retreat to the trans ideology, which is what I did. I chose to retreat anyways, and not an ounce. And like I told you guys before, it didn't stop men from liking me. And my dad was like, well, Kaysha, you're a feminine girl. You're not masculine, and you still have a very feminine face and everything. Like, you weren't really fooling anybody. Like, I get it, but, but still, that didn't move me. I was retreating, but I've gotten to the place where I won't retreat. I can't retreat because I understand the depth of the consequences. If more people understood the weight of consequences of what their actions were doing, they would not do it. They would run from it. Let me play something for you guys. It's Christmas, almost. And I don't want to be a stooge. Not that I celebrate Christmas. But I have a gift for you guys. 2 gifts. We are in the gold age from Trump. And so I have 2 extravaganzas for you guys, so to speak. All right. Hopefully this goes well. Actually, matter of fact, wait a second.
Donald J. Trump is officially the next president of the United States of America. While millions of people are rejoicing in victory, thousands of others are still concerned about their savings. The unfortunate truth is we still have over $35 trillion in debt, plus wars are still raging around the globe. So what can you do to protect your savings? Many Americans are already taking action by reaching out to the top-rated precious metal company, Goldco. Right now, Goldco is offering you a free gold and silver kit to show you how precious metals like gold and silver could help you diversify your savings before it's too late. Visit MikeLikesGold.com or call 855-441-GOLD to get your free gold and silver kit today. Plus, you can receive up to a 10% instant match on bonus silver for qualified accounts. Visit MikeLikesGold.com or call 855-441-GOLD. I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, or our 6-piece towel sets, just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free.
That was on the tail end. Wait a second.
Introducing the Portal Universe only on QUX. This is America's first super app. Easily build your portal, share and monetize video content, live stream, products, music, apps, and more. Engage in live chats and private video messaging. This isn't just a TV box or streaming device. This is your social television console. Become a merchant without any setup or monthly fees. Buy and sell using QUX tokens for private and secure encrypted transactions. You control the ads you watch. You control the content you see. You have easy access to products and services you want, all at the press of a button. QUX brings people together, enhances fellowship, community, and networking capabilities while protecting privacy like never before. Don't wait. Get yours before the sale ends. Go to QUX.tv right now and order your QUX TV box today. Be part of a new digital frontier.
Anyways, guys, yeah, it's been a rather good show today. I appreciated the Bible reading with you guys, and I think my hair is cute today. I don't know if it feels like a little lopsided. I don't know, but it's cute. I've had fun today. Find time to smile and be happy regardless of what happens, and it's rough, and you won't really know like why or how or when or whatever, but God is looking out for you, and it will come in the way that you least expect it. We need good fathers, and this is also why silence. Why, and there were so many times that I was genuinely angry. Like if you guys can see when I'm angry, like genuinely fuming, like a lot of times I would just walk away. And my dad is like that too. He taught me that. But he said, Kaysha, one of these days, you're going to feel something for someone or with someone or whatever. And you're going to feel very, 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 very different. And that it's going to be a lot harder to contain those things. You need to, be careful and whatever. I need to send some scarves to my mom. I'll use that code. Yeah, the code is Karis. I'll send that to you. Said my phone call was shorter. Oh wait. My phone call was shorter than expected. So hello again. Hello, Ben. No, like we need to be wise in what we say and how we approach situations, and take time to really deliberate on how to approach things, and not let anger get the best of us. Like silence is golden. And I'm glad, because many times throughout this last couple of years, I wanted to say so many things. I was so angry. I wanted to say so many things that I could have. But I kept my silence. And I'm glad, because now that I'm seeing the whole picture, I can appreciate it for what it was, because I didn't go around burning bridges, or just because I was angry in the moment. And I didn't go around doing a lot of things that would have been far less than palatable to my success because of my mouth. And even still, there's much work to do. I cannot lie. You know, and if I ever do have any frustration in the future, I know that the frustration would be counted for myself, because I'm only recognizing, okay, well, I have something that I need to fix, or I have something that I need to work on, because I want to be better. I want to be happy. Not necessarily happy. I don't care for happiness. I want to be content. And I want that contentment to radiate out of me and permeate from me. And that's only possible if I release the frustration. And I'm someone that can't hide my emotions very well. My thoughts, maybe, like, people always tell me that I'm mysterious, but I'm like, are you really looking at me? Because my face, like, when I'm frustrated, I'm like, or like, my dad says, like, I have the same pouty face since I was like a kid. So I don't know, like, he's like, some of the faces you make are the same like you were 2 years old, like when I'm angry, like the same, like you said, your eyebrows and lips go the same. And I do. So you can see on my face that I'm frustrated or I'm angry, and it's very hard to hide. But the things that I'm doing, a lot of people, don't necessarily understand. So, in the way that I speak, I have to be very intentional, and that's important. Being intentional in the way you communicate with people. And I've been communicating with you guys for about 3 hours now, and I'm sure you're tired. And I would like to rest a little bit myself. But I just want to make it clear that, more clear, I guess, than I already have for the last 3 hours. Intentionality saves a lot. And you will find, even if you hate in the moment being intentional, and there were so many moments I hated the intentionality, when the time came for me to experience an ounce of grace that would touch me the way that it needed to, and the ball to continue rolling in that direction, I could deal with it appropriately. And now that everything has come together in a more full circle sense, regardless of what it was, I know that God was protecting me. He was looking out for me. He loves me. He was there for me when I was in the trenches, just him and me and my Father. And I can appreciate it wholeheartedly for what it is now. I don't have to have any resentment or anger in my heart, like, why this, why that. It doesn't matter, because God did it. And he made me softer for it. I'm just glad for the experience, to be fair. I'm like that, though. I'm always just glad for the experience. I'm just glad to be here. I'm just glad. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad that I can smile. I'm glad that I can laugh. I'm glad that I can share these moments with you guys and talk, even as robotic as it may be sometimes. Or silly or whatever. It's fun nonetheless. So anyway, thanks guys for tuning in. I will be back at this more often than not. I can't promise you every day. I shouldn't make promises that I don't know that I can definitively keep. But I will do them as often as I can. Be it morning or afternoon. I will find the time. Because I enjoy this. So anyways, stay encouraged and stay blessed. And cool that temper. Find some peace. Find God. You won't regret it. Not in the long run, at least. Anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Ciao.